All right, everybody. Welcome to this month's virtual town hall. Uh, I'm your host, Jay Reed. I'm the chapter chair at School of New Orleans, and I'm also here with Miss April Ham, our lovely co-host. How you doing, April?
Oh, I'm doing good, Jay. Thanks.
All right. This month on our virtual town hall, we will be discussing managing your financial success. Part of the reason why we're going into more of the financial side of managing your business is because there are a lot of programs that are popping up right now to help small business owners get funding and to help them stay afloat during all these uncertain times, especially with COVID-19, but also with the added effects of Hurricane Laura. As many of you know, there's a lot of people that's been displaced from the southwest region of Louisiana and parts of Texas because of Hurricane Laura. And the SBA has started putting together some programs, some funding programs to help the business owners as well as some of the people get back on their feet, get back to what we can consider the new normal at this point. So I'm glad everybody was able to join us today. And for people who are watching us on Facebook, please feel free to make comments, ask questions, just like everybody who's on the chat. Please ask questions. We do have a comment section in our webinar, and I'll be turning on everybody's talk function soon, just to give everybody a chance to express how they feel about managing their finances and ask any questions that they may have. I am going to take a little detour first before we get into our normal Q&A. I wanted to kind of touch bases on a few points on managing finances before we get to asking a lot of questions. These are some key points that we really want to make sure everybody are aware of. And it's going to go rather quickly, so please bear with me. So when you're looking at managing your finances, especially as a business owner, there are 5 key areas that you're looking at: your income, your expenses, your cash flow, your accounts payable, and your accounts receivable. These are 5 key areas that you really want to take a look at when you manage your business and looking at how your revenue and your expenses work to make sure that you are producing a profit so you can be profitable. When it comes to your income, everybody knows this is all the money that's coming in. And I did have a note for y'all that I wanted to share with y'all, so just bear with me. But yeah, if you're looking at the screen right now, you can see your income. Basically, all the income is just what's coming in. Now you have to have constant income. So you want to track it weekly, monthly, quarterly, annually to see how your income fluctuates, because you'll have ups and downs but you want to make sure your income is higher than than your expenses. And that's one of the reasons why you track it on a weekly, monthly, quarterly, and annual basis. The other reason is when you go for some of these programs that I mentioned earlier, they'll ask for different statements so they can see how your income works on a normal basis. Of course, we all know this is not normal right now, but a lot of these programs want to see how you normally function throughout the year so they can give you sufficient enough money, allocate enough funds to keep you afloat through this time. So that's one of the reasons why you want to be able to show them how your income works on a monthly basis. Take for instance, take lawn care guys right now. They're usually in the height of their seasons, because in the summertime you get your grass cut a lot. Into the fall and into the winter, you start seeing the incomes decrease because, of course, in the wintertime, grass isn't growing as much. You don't have as much need for the care that you do in the summertime or in the rainy season. So those fluctuations are things that you want to make sure you manage, and A lot of these organizations who are offering funding, they'll want of course your expenses. And I know I'm flying through this right now because I really want to get to the Q&A part. But your expenses are what you have going out, whether it's on a monthly basis, some fixed expenses or variable expenses. Fixed expenses are like rent, things like rent that you know that you have to pay each month. Variable expenses, the utilities can be variable because you can use more electricity one month than another month. You can use more water one month than another month. Paper products, anything that you need to run the business, make sure that you keep track of those expenses. Even if it's just something as simple as business cards, those cost money as well. It doesn't have to be a real high expense, but you want to know where all your money is going. And if you're reading the screen, we even showing that you want to look at things like your paper towels in your bathroom. You want to know that if you're spending X amount of dollars per month on paper towels, you want to know that they're not just being wasted and you're just not dumping money into that area. If you need to cut costs, you'll be able to take a look at your expense reports and actually see where you can cut costs at. Maybe you don't need the big roll of paper towels every month. Maybe you can get people to start reduce how many paper towels they use. Some companies, especially if they don't have actual customers coming in and out, I've seen them sell you some towels that they can actually read. It just depends on what you're trying to do. And this really to your cash flow. Your cash flow, as you read on the screen, the balance in your business banking account at the end of the month may not be the best measure of your cash flow. So it may not measure how much money is going out versus coming in. You can look at if you have $2 coming in and $1 going out, you're in good shape. But if it goes below $1 coming in and $1 going out, basically saying if you have $2 going out where you have $1 coming in, you really need to look at what your expenses are and try to reduce your expenses so you don't fall below that 1-to-1 ratio. That 1-to-1 ratio is just a break-even point. We all want to make a profit, so you want to target a 2-to-1 ratio. And I'm using these ratios as a means to kind of reduce the numbers and make it make a little bit more sense, and hopefully it does. Because if I go into the thousands of dollars, okay, we got $12,000 going here, $5,000 coming in this way, it kind of gets complicated. But if you look at it on a ratio standpoint, $2 for every $1 that you spend, you make a decent profit. And when I say money that you spend, that includes everything from your overhead costs, your marketing costs, anything any expense that you have. I just have two more sections. The accounts payable. You want to know you want to know what accounts that you have that are payable. I know these are limitations, but the biggest key is you want to know what you have going out, what accounts that you have to pay on. You don't want to go beyond usually like 30 days, but you want to make sure that you stay on top of these accounts. One of the reasons is, of course, you want to know where your money's going, but another reason, back into these programs that they have out there, because a lot of these programs are tied to banks. If you go past the 30-day, 90-day markers, that dings your credit on a lot of accounts, which causes you more problems than you need to have, especially to build a business. So you want to keep track of when these accounts are due, and make sure you don't go past the due dates. If you pass them, make sure you contact your lender, contact your creditor, make sure that, just kind of talk to them. A lot of times they're willing to work with people. It's if they know what's going on. Don't be like some people and just not pay. Reach out to them and talk to them, especially during these times. because everybody knows that we're dealing with a pandemic where you can't really get the traction and the revenue that you're used to. So they're a little bit more considerate about what's going on, and they're more willing to work with you. Last section, accounts receivable, goes back. Goes to your revenue coming in. If you give your customers credit where they can pay on months and things like that, you want to make sure you stay on top of those. Just like you have creditors, if you're able to work with your clients, at this point I recommend you do, but not at the expense of your business. And have a conversation with them. Let them know let them know you understand what's going on, but make sure you stay on top of what money you have coming in, because that does affect your cash. You don't want to get into a negative cash flow situation where you have all these accounts receivable sitting out there where if you were getting the money in, you can keep up on your bills and everything like that. The other reason for looking at these accounts receivable, if you are giving people credit or giving them time to do things, you can become a better judge on who you want to work with in that manner. Especially if you're doing business-to-business sales. Some businesses I know are great at paying their bills, and if they do come up short, they'll contact all their creditors and let them know, look, this month we had a shortfall. This is what happened. Can you work with us? There's others just do like some individuals do and just not pay, and you have to track them down. Those people, you want to talk to them, you want to try to help them, but you still have to draw a line somewhere and let them know, look, we agreed on this. I tried to work with you. I need you to start paying on it. Not trying to be mean, but you gotta get them to understand that this is still a business, and we're all here for the same reason. Now, I know I said only a few sections, but when you're in business, you want to try to be a profit expert. And what I mean by profit expert, again, as you see on the screen, I'll read out this definition. The profit expert is the expert in every enterprise who sees the opportunity in the business finances to streamline operations and capture additional profits wherever possible. The profit expert can get a bird's eye view of the business. You can look at different areas where you can increase your revenue, decrease your expenses, so that you can have a good business. And the most common areas that these profits look at are your sales and marketing, your production, and your accounting. So sales and marketing, of course, we can't survive without sales and marketing. Sales and marketing is actually twofold. For the sales standpoint, you want to make sure you're getting enough people to buy your products and spend money with you. But also on the marketing standpoint, where the opposite is on the marketing standpoint, marketing acts more as an expense sometimes because you want to invest in promoting your business and getting out in front of clients. Whereas sales acts as your revenue to bring in your profits. So it's a balancing act when you're doing sales and marketing, because again, you want to invest in promoting your business, but at the same time, you want to do it in a way where you stay profitable in that 2-to-1 ratio. That is clear. So when you're running your business, you want to keep track of how much money you're spending on marketing, looking at your ROI, which is return on investment, which looks at how much you're spending on marketing and how much you're making in sales. The other part is production. How much you produce for the product or service you're looking at. You want to make sure that your revenue is covering costs as well as making a profit. So in some instances, and I've seen business grow this way, if you have a supplier and you let them know that you're going to be increasing your order on certain merchandise, a lot of times they'll work with you and start reduce your general cost for that merchandise because you're buying in volume. So if you're scaling your business and you're looking to increase the big enough from your suppliers, keep that in mind. Let them know, look, I'm gonna be buying more from you. Can you cut me a break? Can you reduce the price somewhere? And vice versa. When you're supplying people, you want to keep that in mind, because the more volume you do, you can actually make more money, even if you're reducing the upfront cost, because they'll be buying more pieces from you. You also want to look at, if you're cutting expenses in production, you want to make sure that you're not losing quality, because quality is part of your. If you lose the quality, a lot of times it'll have a negative effect on your brand, which can cost you money in the market. But you definitely want to look at your production as you grow your business to see where you can adjust the cost. If you can become more efficient at producing a product or service, that can cut costs as well. But you want to take a look at this area to make sure that you're spending the money efficiently without overspending or underspending, which can reduce quality. Lastly, excuse me. Lastly, you want to make sure you keep good books, making sure you're up to date on your accounting practices, because you want to, and this helps manage your cash flow. Your books help you understand where your money's going out at, where your money's coming in, what money do you have lingering out there, what expense coming up. That way you can manage what's going on in your business, and especially in times like this, you'll know and be able to project, okay, I can withstand 3 to 6 months with reduced sales before I really get into trouble. Or you may not be able to withstand that, but you'll be able to see in your books, and then you can take that information, put it into the format of these programs that are coming out, like PPP, your Idle, it was one I was just talking to some people about earlier. One of the latest grant programs. I can't think of the name right now, but they want to be able to see how your cash flow works. They want to see where it's going and everything like that. If you have your books up to date, it's a lot easier to take that information and put it into the format in there, and they'll be able to process your information a lot faster than if you have to sit down and figure out where all your money's going. So, with that being said, I know I just ran over a lot of stuff real fast. So at this point, I am actually letting everybody talk. If you wanna unmute yourself and ask questions or anything like that, happy to go over anything with y'all. But now I think April, I think I can turn it over to you. What do you think?
Thanks, Jay. Great job. Very important, as you said. And you really did a great job. Even though you had to kind of go a little bit fast, you definitely hit all the key points. So we have definitely a pretty good turnout today. And like Jay said, we want to give you guys a chance to let us know what your thoughts are, any challenges that you're having with any aspects of finance that Jay talked about. If you have any questions about anything that he brought up, or if you're, doing a pretty good job of managing your finances, I guess, to share with the rest of us how you're doing that. Do you have a team that's helping you? Are you wearing all the hats? And if so, how are you staying sane while you do that and doing a good job? Or if you're juggling everything, where can you use some support? That's what we're here for, is for you to let us know what's going on with you and how we can help. So with that being said, feel free to let's see, if you're on a cell phone, if you just tap your screen down in the left corner, usually there's a little microphone. You'll need to unmute yourself so that you can speak to us. If you're on a computer in Zoom, you should be able to click somewhere around the bottom and see a little microphone, and it has a slash through it, which means that you're muted. And so you'll just need to unmute yourself so that you can talk to us. Tell us your name, where you're calling in from, what kind of business you're running or aspiring to run, and what you'd like to talk about today. And I do see a lot of first-time participants. I'm going to give you a fair warning. I do call on people. And I see actually a few friends who've come in today that I haven't seen or spoken to in a long time. Thank you all for joining us. Let's see, Jamie, how are you today?
I'm doing fine. I had a feeling that I'd be called on.
Jamie shows up faithfully every time. Thank you for being here. Tell us about your business and any aspects of finance that you feel like you're doing well with, and any that you're finding challenging.
Okay, well, I have a small massage therapy practice focused on athletes and the therapeutic side of massage. As far as finances, that is definitely something I need to work on. And in a previous in a previous
Town hall?
in a previous meeting, I remember we were talking about being an entrepreneur and everything. And I remember saying then that a lot of entrepreneurs aren't real business people. And so I think a lot of us that struggle with things like finances and having the books proper and you know, your cash flow, all of those sorts of things, it doesn't come natural to us. So it is difficult for us to do these things and make sure that we are running the business properly. And that is one of the things I struggle with, is because, in all honesty, business isn't a natural thing for me. So it is difficult for me to tackle those things in a proper manner.
So Jamie, can you give us any examples? How do you manage your business finances now?
Right. Sorry if I'm a little out of breath. I'm walking at a pretty quick pace right now, but right now, honestly, I use QuickBooks. So I'll go into there, and unfortunately, I don't have the most efficient system set up currently as far as you know, profits and expenditures and things like that. So that's something I'm definitely need to work on.
So you're saying that you have a software that helps you keep track of your finances for the business, but you aren't really sure how to make the best use of it. Is that what you're saying?
In a roundabout way, yes.
Okay.
Just where do you put money in? Do you put money into marketing? Even though, as Jay was saying, if you're not getting a return on investment in putting so much money into marketing, where can that money go in a more efficient manner to help bring in more income?
Okay. Now, Since I do know a little bit about your situation, Jamie, I'm going to just say, or rather ask you, how are you measuring your marketing effectiveness? How do you know if you're getting a return on your investment or not?
Well, because I ask, when it's a new client, I ask them, typically when people book, if they're a new client and they're booking and they were a referral from someone, they'll typically say right off the bat, well, so-and-so referred me because you helped them with XYZ. So
Okay.
if it's a new person and they're not just saying who referred them, I'll typically ask, well, not typically, I'll always ask, well, where did you hear about us? And find out if it's through Google, if it's through Yelp, if, you know, a lot of times it's just a specific therapeutic massage or sports massage search that led them to me.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm going to ask Jay to jump in here. Do you have any insights for Jamie as far as marketing? It sounds like he feels like he gets more sales from word of mouth, but he also gets some clients from search engines, but he's not sure about how effective marketing is based on those two things.
All right. Now let me just say this, and this is very common. Is your strongest part of marketing tool, because it's human nature. If you have a third party that says this is a good thing to do, 9 times out of 10, that person will at least try it off the strength of that person's word. As far as marketing, like with digital marketing and any other marketing efforts that you have, traditionally you want to be able to set up and map out what they call a I know this is a term and process that has been tested and it's been proven. The reason why you sales funnel is because it not only draws people into your business, but it also gives you a way to track how that person gets in, especially with digital sales. If you notice, nowadays a lot less putting contact numbers out there. If they are putting contact numbers out there, I know some companies that have a contact number specifically for their digital advertising versus the general business number. Reason being, they can track how many people are calling that number because they usually use voice over IPs. So it's usually a digital phone number. But reason being, it gives them a mechanism how many people are actually looking at the ad, clicking on it, actually using that phone number. And that's one of the reasons why a lot of people push digital advertising so much. There's so many mechanisms in there for you to track how many people actually have your advertising, your business getting in front of them, how many people are visiting your website, and then you can see how many people, through the use of things like sign-up pages, how many people are actually using that to actually make a point. So it's just making a few minor adjustments like that can help you track how your advertising is going. And other things, like if you hear somebody say, "Oh, use this code when you sign up for your next appointment," that code does two things. That code, it can do two things. Let me clarify that. In some cases, the code can give a incentive for the buyer to sign up by giving a percentage off. Some people use like a 5% discount or something like that for first time clients. But on the other end is, if you see that code multiple times, that means that advertising is working. Now, the other thing to keep in mind, and this is from a marketing standpoint, marketers, we actually do what they call an A/B test. What an A/B test is if we're looking at setting up a marketing campaign, we're setting up a marketing campaign, we'll look at two different types of ads and kind of put it out there to see which one gets the best results. Because I can put an ad in front of thousands of people, but if nobody's clicking it, that means that ad's not working for me. But if ad A is not working and ad B is getting 100 clicks a day, that means I take all the money I was putting behind ad A, just shift it to ad B because it's getting a response. The first thing you need to do is get in front of the client. Second thing you need to do is get them to react, and that's just how the process works. I do like to mention, I hope I did turn on his microphone. So John, I know you with Digital Cypress web design. Can you give us an idea how y'all approach helping clients with creating a good web product? If you're available, I'm not sure if you're in a good place to talk right now. You might not be in a good position to talk right now, but all web designers that have tested out different methods, especially in SEO, to help actually draw in more clients, but they set up the website in a way where you can actually track who's how many visiting and how many people are actually clicking through the website. Click-through rate, you have to understand like the click-through rate, how long somebody is staying on the website, and how many people are signing up. So there's a lot of things that goes into it, but that's just kind of giving you a good overview.
Right. And with all that being said, it goes back to the other point that we keep trying to drive home every time, which is especially if you don't feel like you're a quote unquote business person, you're a practitioner, you're a baker, you're a therapist, you want people to hire you, and by the same token, you need to hire other people. That's how business works. It's basically an economy that you're a part of. And so there are, companies that specialize in things that you're weak at. And, as a business owner, as the manager of your business, it's your job to surround yourself with the right people, with the right companies that can support your business. So, oh yes, is that John?
Yeah, this is John.
Okay, hey
Okay,
John,
yeah.
thanks for joining us.
Yeah, sorry I jumped in a little late. I was having some microphone issues.
That's totally fine, John. Just wanted to say, since you do digital marketing and web design, I wanted you to just say just give us a broad overview, just if you can, how you just approach that. You don't have to go into too many details. I know kind of give them an idea from a standpoint.
Yeah, sure. So basically what we are, our approach is to, we like to do a brand discovery before we even start, like developing a website for anybody. We ask the client questions, about specific pain points that they're having in their business, or, if they want to change their design totally, what do they want out of the website? What do they want the website to accomplish for them? Is it to inform? Is it to entertain people? Is it to get leads? So it's a lot of upfront work and a lot of questions that we ask. So we do something called a brand discovery, where we ask them all these specific questions about, what do they want it to look like? How do they want it to work? And then we take all this upfront information after our consulting, and my team and I, we, make a bunch of different designs, and we narrow it down to the best ones. And then we show that client the design that we think will help them the most. And, and before we even like start developing anything with any code or anything like that, that we make sure they sign off on the design, that it's what they want. And then we just, move on to development at that point. But overall, yeah, you got to do a lot of upfront work, pretty much.
Absolutely. I've definitely encountered a lot of agencies that like to just jump right in working on things without doing any type of needs assessment or discovery. And that gets them in trouble because people are often not happy with their work.
Yes.
So that's actually really good to hear. I definitely approve. Thanks again for being here and sharing your service with us. With that being said, being that today is kind of, is supposed to be about finance, marketing is one of those things that when you want to start looking at tightening the belt, looking for ways to cut costs, marketing is usually one of the things that you don't want to cut because, like Jay was saying, it drives awareness. It drives people into your sales funnel.
What you doing?
Jamie, I think you're still on. Your mic is still on. Be careful out there. But yeah, I mean, I do hear from a lot of people and a lot of companies where marketing budgets are being cut, and that's just, that probably you both agree the last thing that should be cut, if at all possible, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like if you stop marketing, you start getting in front of people. That means you lose the opportunity to draw people buy your product or your service. So to me, it doesn't make sense to stop marketing. That's probably one of the last places I would cut in my company.
Yeah, that's right. Because what I like about websites is that they're on the internet forever, as long as you keep them up. And the good thing about websites is you can build an authority in the search engines. So if you keep updating it with like blog posts with specific keywords that people in your niche look for, then you can build up your authority as a website and as a business. And then Google will place you higher in the search engines, which is incredibly valuable in itself. And it kind of markets for you that way. Mm-hmm. So that's why I kind of like, just working with websites and making sure that they, have the right information there, but but advertising though, that'll take it to a whole new level. If you target the right people, cause that's a thing that a lot of people forget when they're digital marketing is, you want to target, say you own a hamburger company, you want to target people that like hamburgers, but a lot of people go with this one size fits all approach, and they just want to blast to everybody in the area. That's not how it works, because there's people that like spaghetti, there's people that like veggie burgers and salads and all that stuff. You just want people that want hamburgers. So you got to go to pages and stuff like that where people are very excited about hamburgers, like McDonald's Lovers Anonymous or something like that. I don't know. But you just got to target people. It's all about niching down when it comes to marketing. Who's your target? Who do you want? Who can you best serve?
Mm-hmm. Right. Especially for small businesses, like you have a limited capacity to begin with, especially in a service-based business, you're only going to be serving so many customers. So, not only is it not effective to try to reach everybody with your marketing? But, you know, it's just really not practical, you know, like,
It's not.
you know,
It's a waste of time.
so yeah, yeah. Yeah, and so then one other thing that I did want to address that Jamie brought up, or actually two things. One, John, in your opinion, how does digital marketing tie in with word of mouth? So, like, for example, if there's a local restaurant owner or a local health practitioner, you know, they are getting a lot of word of mouth, which is great. And then they're wondering, do they even need to invest in digital marketing? How do you respond to that?
So if they're just getting referrals, and well, it all depends on how consistently they're coming in. You know, if your referrals, if you're getting like, you know, a relatively, you know, the same amount of referrals coming in, that's good to keep your business afloat, then I'd say you really wouldn't have to do digital marketing at that point, because word of mouth is pretty good. If people are referring you to their business, then, you know, why even invest at that point? But, you know, maybe you have a new product that's coming out that you want to get the word out on, you know, and you want to tell all of your clients now that you have, maybe you can send them an email blast, or you can do a digital advertisement on LinkedIn or Facebook. But if you're getting referrals by word of mouth, then, you know, I really wouldn't go for it personally as a business decision. But if you have something new or you have something exciting you want to share with your present clients, or clients that you, or a new client that you want to reach out to in a specific demographic, then yeah, go for digital marketing.
Right. All right. Let's see. We have a question. Let's see. Hang on. We have a question from Chandrika. For the web developer, do you prefer any website host over others?
Is that
For John, yeah.
for me?
Yeah.
Right now I like to use SiteGround, because they have a very good develop, their team there is really, really good to talk to. They're very helpful and very informative. They have a great, like, you know, 24/7 chat there. And the speed at which your website loads is incredible. That's very important if you want to, you know, start to rank your website a little higher in the Google search. It's very easy to use. Their plans are pretty reasonably priced. They have 3 plans. I'm part of the middle tier, and then they have it's the grow big plan, where I can make as many websites as I want and host them on, you know, my same account, and I can make them for clients and host them on that account too. And but yeah, I definitely probably recommend SiteGround or Bluehost or HostGator. They're all very reasonably priced, and but overall, I think SiteGround is probably the best one to host.
Great suggestions. All 3 of those are definitely in my top 3 list as well. SiteGround, excuse me, to me has sort of very strong values and ethics. So they kind of get extra points in my book as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I mean, so also you're saying that the benefit of working with a developer or an agency is that you guys can host the site yourselves, you know, and kind of take that responsibility off the plate for business owners, right? Like, you know, like you're kind of maintaining it. They don't have to keep up all of the maintenance themselves. Is that what you're saying that your company provides?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's we want the business owners, or we want the client to just focus on what they do best. And so not having to, worry about updating or backing up your website or updating it constantly, it's a hassle. And, they just want the website to work for them and get the word out and get people to sign up, or whatever design that they want. So yeah, that's why we like to host it. We like to give out monthly reports too. We like to update you on how well your website is performing. And if you want to make a change, just look at the website and tell us what you want to change, and we'll just go in and do it. If you have a blog, if you want to add a page, then we'll add a page for you. And if you want to update your blog with a new post that you typed out, you just send us the copy and we'll slap it up on the website for you.
Sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. I want to pause and see if anyone else has any questions or comments. You can feel free to unmute yourself and jump right in. And we have a lot
did
of
have a
folks.
question earlier.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
We did have a question earlier. I kind of answered it in the background for him, but I just wanted to bring it since we all talk about more on the revenue side.
Mm-hmm.
If you're looking at expanding your reach, definitely talk to the SBA. And what I mean by that is not just within the United States, but also internationally. This is the time to kind of consider your options, since everything's kind of slow. Everything is slow right now. You start considering different options. And the reason why I say reach out to the SBA when it comes to international markets, they do have a program to help you enter into international markets, where they help you find potential buyers and clients, and help you set deals up so you can expand your market from just your local area to more of a world market. That way, even though you are competing with a lot of companies, you have a bigger reach, so you have more opportunity. So I just wanted to put that out there, since we are looking at the revenue side of things.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question. What SBA are you a part of? Are you a part of one?
SBA, well, the score is actually under the SBA. It was developed by the SBA. Our local office is in the New Orleans office, right there on Canal Street. So they're connected. I know they have different offices down here, because I'm just thinking about it. The gentleman that does all the international things, he does have an office, and he does have an office inside our office, but his office is actually supposed to be more closer to the federal buildings. So they're all different SBA offices. Our office is actually Now Street.
Now Street?
Right near Harris Casino. You know where is that Saks? No, that tower.
Saks?
Yeah, that's Saks. But it says where Morton Steakhouse is.
Mm-hmm.
We have an office in that building, in that tower.
What's like the official name on the outside of the building? Or New Orleans SBA?
No, it's not always has to be on the outside of the building, because there's other companies in there. When you come to our office, it's just the SBA. It just says SBA. If you look for us online, you'll go to sba.gov/LA for Louisiana, because it's actually all part of. That's just one office that's all part of the Louisiana area.
Okay. Because I've been looking to join an SBA and kind of start getting and network a little bit.
All right. Well, yeah, go to that website, because they're doing a lot of stuff virtual now. They do have some courses coming up. They're doing a lot of connections virtually because of the pandemic. Like I said, as the school program that we're part of actually falls under the SBA. We are under their guidance as well as the SBDC. So when you connect with the SBA, you'll see more of a popping in and out because that's just how it works.
Okay.
And John, when you say you want to join the SBA, are you thinking more about the chambers in terms of joining an organization or kind of joining a network?
Well, how many forms of membership are there? I'm not looking to be like a voting member or anything like that. I just want to be a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, with the SBA, it's not a membership. It's more just making those connections, and like if you want to be a member, they'll probably direct you to the school program and be a member of SCORE, because that's their nonprofit side where you become a volunteer. You'll be able to do different things like we're hosting this virtual town hall. We host workshops. Under normal circumstances, we can host networking events and things like that. But you'll be in direct connection with the SBA. The SBA is a government entity, so it doesn't have a membership like the Chamber of Commerce. Like the Chamber of Commerce does. However, they do work with people because they do handle like all the certifications for like your 8A, your WOSBs, your veteran-owned small businesses and stuff like that. Like I said, we partner with them to do workshops. It's when you connect with, like I said, when you connect with them and you want to like get involved, there's a good chance that they'll connect you with either us or the SBDC to start connecting more. And like I said, they're really involved. It's just that they're the government side where the more the public nonprofit side.
Okay. Is there an official phone number? You can type it in the chat if you want to. Gotta pull it up.
Get up.
Yeah, because I'm just looking to, I'm kind of new on the block, so I just want to get my name out there, and I want to bump elbows with a few more people that might need my services, because my target is small business owners. That's who I mainly want to help. And because, believe it or not, like about 49% of small business owners don't even have an online presence at all on a website. They may have like a Facebook page and all that, but you're really not making any headway on Facebook unless you have a large following or you're paying a lot of money to drive traffic towards your page. It's very much pay to play now. Right. And, a website, you can build up a website, like I mentioned earlier, to have some sort of authority and be seen as an authority in your area of expertise. And so that's kind of what I want to help people do.
Another program, since you're trying to build up your business on that side, you may want to look into the Louisiana Economic Development and Emerging Business Development Program. Free to sign up for, but it gives you opportunities where you can find out about bids that are going out. You can they just started some SEVD roundtables where they have business owners get together. They have, I want to say it's like a 4-hour session.
That's a part of the SBA.
Training. This one is part of LED, Louisiana Economic. The difference is that the SBA is national. Louisiana Economic Development is for local, and I'll get you that contact information as well. Cool. But that program may be more up your alley since you're trying to develop your business. Like I said, the round tables, you'll get to sit around with other business owners. There's other resources that you'll get from there as well. There's a lot of stuff. There's actually a lot of stuff in the area and a lot of organizations that you can connect with, and just start being around, just start talking to a lot of these people. Because I was telling this to some service providers a couple One of the things to keep in mind as a service advisor, service provider, especially in times like this where they need a lot of help with businesses and everything. If you connect with the nonprofits and you have a relationship with a lot of these nonprofits, they get what you call a RFP, or request for proposal. And if you have that relationship, you'll be in a loop when they go out. And those proposals are for business advisors to connect advisors with clients, which makes it a lot easier for people like you who are trying to build your business to actually make a name in the market while generating some type of income.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good. Definitely look into that.
So, John, oh, sorry, go ahead, Jay.
I was probably the same thing you were about to say, because we did have a question that said, ask John what's the name of his company.
Of my company?
Yes, sir.
Digital Cypress.
And I do think that John shared his website in the chat if you want to grab the link for that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And John, where are you from? Because you said that you're kind of new here. Are you from outside the state, and what brought you here?
Oh no, I'm from here. I'm from New Orleans.
Okay. Okay.
I'm from here.
Okay, but kind of just getting started with your business.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I've had a few small clients. I made some logos for them, and I did some graphic design. Right now, I'm kind of making websites for free for a few people that I know, just to build up my portfolio. And but yeah, you know, you got to pay your dues, you know. So I'm making websites for free. I think I'm trying to get like two or three more, and then I'll start charging people once I have a nice portfolio built up.
Sounds good.
Well, I definitely recommend connecting, like I said, that SBV, that Small Emerging Business Development Program with Louisiana Economic Development. I actually put that link in the chat.
Yeah, please.
Also, that link should be in the chat, and I'm trying to. That link should be in the chat, and there's actually you gave me an email, so there's a book it's this SBA's business resource guide. So what the SBA does once a year, they take information for everybody that they connect with, or everybody that you need to know in the area. Well, not everybody you need to know in the area, but key players in the area, from chambers of commerce to economic development centers, Louisiana Economic Development. There's funding sources and contracting sources, but the resource guide, the magnet place to start, especially when you're starting to build your business. Like I said, there's contact information for a lot of people that you can connect with that can either become clients or can help you actually develop your business to drawing clients. I've used that book. I have a couple clients that's used that book because I do business development consulting as well. But a lot that I'm telling you that you can do, I've actually tested it. I've tried it, tested it, proved it, so it works. And we've actually had some mentors that transitioned from being a volunteer mentor into actually getting into a position where they had enough clients so where they just stepped back from the mentor program, which to me is a great thing because it gave them more to actually enter the market, which is definitely something that a lot of people have trouble doing.
Oh, definitely.
All right, and we have a question from Mrs. White from Jimry Museum. She wants to know, what are some cost-effective ways to drive traffic to your website? And just kind of knowing a little bit about their situation, as well as probably most nonprofits, rather small nonprofits and small businesses that don't have, an advertising budget or really even a marketing budget. What are some affordable and cost-effective ways that they can drive more traffic to their websites? For anybody, Jay, John. Well, I'll go ahead.
My suggestion is definitely have a blog. Now, a blog is a long-term deal. It's not going to get you clients as quickly as you want it to. But another way that you can get, it's not necessarily, it's called content marketing, where you produce content for free that people in your niche would enjoy. Say you own like a skateboard shop, and you start making videos of you doing how to do a kickflip or something like that, or how to grind on a rail, and you start putting out content like that. It's going to get a lot more eyes on you. People really like video content. But if you also just want to write about, how to put wheels on a skateboard properly, or how to maintain balance while you're grinding, make a blog post about that. Make it about a question that people have in your niche, and people will search that question and it'll come to you, and they'll come to your website. If you're going to start a blog, I suggest you start targeting low ranking keywords just to get started. And I'd say maybe after about a good 30 articles that are about 1,000 to 1,500 words long, then I think you'll start really getting some traffic after a few months of that. But yeah, that's a low cost way to do it. Just give people free information and build yourself up as somebody that they can trust, and then they'll eventually want to do business with you.
Right.
I kind of had a brain freeze on that. That's what actually I wanted to John hit the nail on the head on that one. But to piggyback off of what John said, the other thing about content marketing is that you can create the content one time, but you can reshare it multiple times.
That's right.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And, you can also do guest posting. Now, say you're a small time business, and, if you write articles enough and then you kind of go to a bigger website that has a lot of traffic that comes to it, you can say, hey, you can ask them like, is it okay if I could do a guest post, make a post for your page, and then I can link to my website too. If you can do that a few times, that'll get you a lot of traffic, because you're already posting on a site that has a lot of traffic coming to it. And if people are searching for that specific article and they land on that website and they see that you wrote it and you have a link that returns to your website or your business page, then you're going to get tons of eyes on you then at that point. So that's another good way to do it.
Right. And so the whole idea, and really the whole idea behind digital marketing is to increase your digital footprint. You want as much content on the internet affiliated with your brand, either your personal name or your business name, because people are searching all the time for information, for education, for entertainment, for awareness, for quick tips or tutorials. People are searching. That's how Google and Bing and Facebook, that's how they all stay in business. And you get to be part of that economy, by contributing your piece of, information that Google can then, serve to people and say, hey, here's what you're looking for. you know, and so you really have to start thinking about yourself as a content creator, as a source of information, as a resource. And
Mhm.
you know, small business owners are experts at something. You're the expert on whatever it is that you're offering your customers, you know.
That's
And
right.
you know, and so by creating that content, anything that you would tell them if they were coming to you in person, you just add it to the internet, right? You know,
That's
so
right.
you know, and so for example, at the museum, they are experts in local history and Black history, in different types of arts and culture. And so, I know a lot of companies are kind of struggling to make a transition from doing everything in person, and and kind of having a web presence, to really needing to build even more of a web presence to keep in touch with people until they're able to reopen. And so now's a really good time, to just start documenting all the expertise that you have, in anything that you would normally share. Just write it down and put it on your website in the blog section. And then, like John was suggesting, also reach out to uh, magazines or companies that have a similar audience that you're trying to reach, and guest post for them, because everybody needs content. As they say, content is king. Everybody needs content, and
Yes,
if you're willing to, to just hand over some content at no cost to them, they are happy to share their audience with you.
that's right. Um, Another thing that I was thinking about uh, when you were talking is make sure you're using the correct social media for your website. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean, if you're a like a salon owner, you wouldn't post. You don't want to have like a Snapchat, or maybe you do, just an official one. Just make sure it's not your personal one. You got to separate the two. Um, if you're a salon owner, you're not going to try to advertise digitally on like LinkedIn. Like, no, you're more of a you want to do more of like an Instagram or a Facebook, somewhere where you can post a lot of pictures, you know, and because most of your audience would probably reside on Instagram. So just make sure you're using the correct social media. If you're in a more professional sort of business, like financial advising, I would probably just do LinkedIn, because that's where most of your clients would be. You know, so just make sure you're using the correct social media, because not all social media is built for the same thing. You know.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, especially when you're talking about having limited resources, limited time.
Mhm.
You want to focus on the channels, or channel, in particular, that you can reach your market directly right away, without having to take too long to find the people that you're trying
Right.
to reach. Yeah.
Yeah, just don't try to like use every single social media page out there, because you're just going to end up wasting time on a few. Well,
Hmm.
just focus on like two or three that work for you,
Hmm.
that where where your customers reside, basically.
Right.
Use those, and throw all the other ones away.
Right. Now, when it comes to LinkedIn, I will say that I do think every company should have a LinkedIn presence. Not, but not for the same type of marketing. If you're serving customers, like a salon, or really, or any local business, you definitely want to be somewhere like Facebook or Instagram. But you also do want to build up your business to business relationships, and that's going to happen on LinkedIn.
Hmm. That's right.
And as a matter of fact, Jay and I are both there. Make sure you all connect with us there. I'm not sure how much time Jay spends there, but I'm pretty active there, and And really these days, I'm not on email. It's the only way to reach me.
Unfortunately,
I posted my
I'm in
LinkedIn into the chat
meetings.
if you want to add me.
Perfect. Perfect. Unfortunately, nowadays I'm in meetings and everything else most of the day. So I do get on LinkedIn. I do get alerts if anybody wants to reach out to me via LinkedIn, but email is the fastest way to get in touch with me because usually, like I said, I'm usually in meetings which consist of Zoom meetings at this point, and usually checking emails and so.
You know, speaking of LinkedIn, I've been trying this new thing out on LinkedIn where it's supposed to be like a lead generation type deal. So there's this app, this desktop app called Meet Alfred, and it's really cool. What it does is it kind of puts people down into like a sales funnel, basically, but only on LinkedIn. So this is how it works. You do a search on LinkedIn, do a search for people who you'd like to do business with. You know, say you want to do gym owners. Okay. So you look up gym owners and you put all the information in, the criteria of your search, and then you go to that search and it'll bring up a whole list of people like 300 names of people who own gyms. And I say, okay, so you copy that URL and you plug it into the campaign. And then you kind of like make a bunch of questions and it'll kind of artificially send it to them like a chat bot. So you could say, hey, my name is John. How are you doing today? In one message. And then you sign the next message for a day later if they respond. And it just kind of goes down from there and you build it up and then you eventually make your pitch.
Okay.
So it's a pretty cool thing. It's got a free 14-day trial to see if you like it. And I think it's like $25 a month after that for like a basic plan. And then they have like more different packages you can apply. But yeah, it's basically like a chat messenger bot that uses your profile picture and your profile to reach out to business owners. I think it's great for business to business. I have a whole bunch of leads now. I just got to reach back out to them.
Oh, sounds good. Thanks for telling us about it.
Oh yeah. You got to use the right tools.
Exactly. All right. Well, we're getting close to time. Anybody else want to chime in? Anybody joining in on Facebook Live that wants to chat in? We've got a couple more minutes. I did want to go back a little bit to those 5 points that Jay mentioned earlier. So we had our income or revenue, our expenses. We talked about where to cut and not cut. Definitely don't cut out the marketing, but focus it on the right places. Cash flow, accounts payable, and accounts receivable. I did want to talk about those last two a little bit before we leave, because I think that this is a place where some people get into trouble, and especially in working with different types of vendors, and especially as a small business, if or rather once you're to the place where you're outsourcing a lot, it can become difficult to manage all the vendors and keep track of everything going out, where it's going, who it's going to, how much you're paying them, why you're paying them that amount. You start signing contracts and you forget what you signed and agreed to. Some send invoices, some take the money out automatically, and it really just gets to be kind of messy if you don't have a good way of kind of keeping track of it all. And so I'm just wondering, if how people are keeping track of their different vendor relationships, and if that's challenging, what are some ways we can help? And certainly, I don't want to forget, Jay, to share the workshops that we have coming up that that covers a lot of this.
Yeah, that's right. We do have a couple of workshops coming up this month. I actually had it pulled up a second ago. When you get a chance, visit neworleans.score.org, and we have some finance manager workshops coming up. The first one we have coming up is next week on the 10th. It's the overview of QuickBooks Online. That's going to give you a walkthrough of how to use our platform. We do have our score mentor, and he also works over with Fund 17 doing case management. Jeff Williams, he is a QuickBooks expert, so he'll be walking through the whole QuickBooks platform, so everybody can get understanding of how to use that to track their income and their expenses. Later on in the month, we will be doing on the 17th, which is the third Thursday of the month. We'll be continuing our simple steps to start your business workshop series. This one, financial projections. So we'll be getting more into balance sheets and things like that in that workshop. So, like I said, if you go to neworleans.score.org, or visit us on Facebook at Score New Orleans, Score Mentors New Orleans, you'll be able to see what workshops we have coming up and sign up for them. They're all virtual. Just it is dealing with the pandemic and everything, so we are doing all virtual. And we have some national workshops as well. If you want to go to just score.org, you'll see what national has going on their side. And I did want to bring up one thing before. Just wanted to share the screen. If you give me a moment. If you are trying to manage your finances, we do have some templates. You should be seeing the personal financials template on your screen right now. This is something that's on our Score website. I just typed in financial management and clicked on templates, and this is what populated. So as you can see, it talks about your cash, your checking account, savings accounts, certificates of deposit. It gives you notes on how to prepare your financial statement. Also, see if you can see that. Also, we have the 12-month cash flow statement. We have a 3-year cash flow statement. 3-year cash flow sheet, but I pulled out the 12-month one just so you can see how companies actually track their expenses and everything. Do common expenses like common topics like cash sales, collections. They talk about your cash paid out, like purchases for merchandise, or specific purchases other than just general merchandise, wages, payroll expenses. This is a good way to kind of start everything. And if I'm not mistaken, once you start plugging things in, it starts populating them for you. So I click down here for the totals, and as you can see, it has the equations already in there. So you just have to make sure the categories are right, make sure the general information is right, and it'll calculate all the totals for you. So I just wanted to point that out. Yeah, I think that's the main stuff I have for this week. Let's see.
I want to second that. Templates are your friend. You don't have to create things from scratch, and Score has a wonderful library. And those 2 templates that Jay showed us on the screen share are really great to get started, because you basically just punch in the numbers, right? You know, either from your bank account statement or from your QuickBooks. Certainly, if you've been just kind of keeping track of it in your head and you just write things down on a piece of paper, you want to try to get that off of paper and into a computer, ideally in the cloud, or, you know, basically where it's saved and can be accessed online anytime, anywhere. And then the other reason that that's important, not just for you to have a bird's eye view and kind of be able to see everything, you know, mapped out outside of your head. That's the number one reason why these things are important. But it's also necessary that when you need to share your financial scenario with someone else, it's helpful for them, because the way that people communicate about finance is different than you might do it personally, right? Like, you may be able to keep track of it in your head just fine, but then when you want to work with an accountant or a bookkeeper or a business partner, or you want to apply for certain types of funding or contracts, grants, loans, you need to be able to produce this information in a format that people will recognize. And so that's why using a template is helpful, because you don't have to figure out what format they want to see it in. That template is how they want to see it, and you just need to put in your numbers. And so it's never too late to get started. Certainly you want to get away from just doing it in your head and on pieces of scratch paper, because I do know people who are still doing that, you know, not calling any names, but you know, definitely the SCORE templates are a really, really good resource to start keeping better track of your financial numbers. And those numbers can come from your business bank account statements, right? If you've been working with QuickBooks, you can, you know, pull the numbers from there, but they do need to be in those formats. I do believe QuickBooks can create these same types of statements for you, but certainly if you don't know how to do that yet, those templates are an easy way to do it without having to learn, you know, any new software.
I do want to add on to that. There are other times where you'll need that information. Some of the stuff I mentioned earlier, especially like your disadvantaged business enterprise, your 8A program, your Women Small Business program, all those programs, they have a financial requirement for that. To be eligible for programs, you have to be under a certain threshold, and one of the ways they determine that is through your financial statements. So you want to be able to have your financial statements in order, because if you're able to get certified in these programs, which the majority of these programs are free to apply for and get certified under, you expand your ability to grow your business. What I mean by there's contracts and things out there that are tied to these programs. There's, for instance, the DBE program. There's different ones, but a lot of it is working with some of these larger companies or working on big projects. I know people that got into the DBE program and went and captured contracts at small businesses over at the airport when they were doing the expansion at the airport. But that was because they were DBE certified and they had their paperwork in order. Like I said, these templates are great to start with. I do suggest that you look at things like QuickBooks. I think there's another one called Waves, if I'm not mistaken. There are some other software out there, but definitely I would start with a template, but start looking at different software that can help manage your books, because that's what a lot of accountants are doing now. They're using software to manage your books. You can tie it to your business bank account, so you can make it more automated, but also it can help populate the statements that you need when you need them. That way you're not running around trying to get your books together, it's already there in one place. That's one of the reasons why we're doing that QuickBooks overview next week, because again, that's a tool that a lot of companies are using, especially as the bigger companies and as they grow, they're utilizing that to automate a lot of the process and save time and energy and track things a lot better. Also, I do recommend reading a lot. I haven't recommended it a lot lately, but I'm somebody that like to suggest books. And this book, I'm gonna suggest this. This is a book that's been out for a couple of years now. It's gotta be a better part of a decade, probably more, longer than a decade. Gentleman Dave Ramsey, I read his book. Total Money Makeover. Just gives you an idea of how you can manage your expenses. And this is not just for business as well. So you can get a better understanding of how you can manage your budget to maximize it and just create a better financial position for yourself. That's all it's about. So if you have a chance, I definitely recommend you read that book. It helped me out. I read that before I saw any of this stuff, and I've utilized a lot of that in there. There's a good chance he may have updated it, but definitely look into it. Other things I want to mention today before we go, we still have our our small business virtual town hall landing page up, which links to the recordings of our previous virtual town halls, upcoming sessions, but it also links to the resource partners and partners page, and it links to our resilience hub. Our small business resilience hub was developed by our national branch to help businesses throughout COVID-19 pretty much stay afloat and pivot to where they can be profitable. So definitely check that out. It's at score.org/SBVTH for some small business virtual town hall. Mentioned the SBA earlier. Definitely check out the SBA website, the sba.gov/LA. That's our local branch, which they do have listings of all the workshops and webinars that they have coming up. That's the SBA's workshops, our workshops, as well as the Small Business Development Center workshops. So we all work in conjunction to help businesses develop, along with some of our local resource partners, such as the Urban League's Women's Business Resource Center. We work close with like Fund 17, True Fund, a whole bunch of organizations are out there. They're out there to help businesses like y'all and like myself grow, establish themselves and grow and be successful. I did not update the next slide, so I do apologize for that. So I'm gonna kind of speed through that one. But our next virtual town hall will be on the first Thursday of October, which I think is October 1st, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, it is. That one will be leaning more toward funding sources. Just giving everybody an idea what kind of funding sources are, because there are more than just big banks out there to help you fund your business, and there's different ways to do it. So we'll have a discussion on next time. If you have any questions, you can reach me at jeremy.reed@score.org. scorevolunteers.org. I can connect you with pretty much anybody that's been on the call, because I do have a lot of people's contact information. If you just have questions, I want to connect with a small business mentor, I can help it on that road. That's all I have. April, do you have any parting words for us?
I just want to thank everybody again for joining us, everybody who is here with us live, as well as everybody who's been watching our recordings. Again, we're here to help. Join us every first Thursday of the month and we will see you next time, or we'll talk to you next time because we don't do video. But again, please reach out. Please show up to the workshops. They're there for you. And we'll see or talk to you then. Have a great weekend. It's Labor Day. Try to take some time out for yourself. Good night.
Thanks for coming.